Raider Nation, Las Vegas Raiders fans, there is something crazy happening right now with one of our star players, that is running back Josh Jacobs. The rumors are heating up. Could he go elsewhere? Is there some type of situation that just cannot be resolved between Josh McDaniels, GM Dave Ziegler, owner Mark Davis, and Josh Jacobs? We know Jacobs was recently franchise tagged after they were not able to come to terms on a long-term agreement. We're going to break down everything that's happening right now, the latest rumors and the latest news surrounding Jacobs' situation. What could the Raiders do at this point, and what could Josh Jacobs do at this point, as we see running backs around the NFL upset about their situation, from Saquon Barkley rejecting the franchise tag and Austin Eckler saying that the Chargers are completely disrespecting him. We are breaking down Raiders content almost every single day, and if you want me to pump out more, make sure you subscribe to let me know. Josh Jacobs is a beloved player for the Las Vegas Raiders, and tons of fans have his jersey. The man was part of the 3 first-round picks drafted in 2019, but now he's hit an odd impasse with the Raiders ever since Josh McDaniels was hired as the head coach in 2022. It all started in May of 2022 when the Raiders decided to decline not only Josh Jacobs' fifth-year option, but every single first-round pick from the 2019 draft, their fifth-year option. That is Jonathan Abram and Cleveland Farrell as well. And at first we thought, okay, maybe they could negotiate a long-term contract. Josh Jacobs is a freaking baller, former Pro Bowler. This has to be okay, right? But then we saw at the preseason game against the Jaguars, Josh Jacobs played way too much in that game, and it honestly looked like a freaking NFL player playing with a bunch of high school kids. He was so, mismatched with the talent there in the preseason game, and it had a lot of fans scratching their heads saying, why? Why is Jacobs playing in preseason? Is he on the block? Nothing ended up happening, and Jacobs, playing on a one-year deal with the Raiders in 2022, ended up having the best season of not only his career, but having the best season of every NFL running back in 2022. Became a Pro Bowler, All-Pro, did everything right in 2022. So if you're Jacobs, you were disrespected. Your fifth-year option was declined. You were forced to play in a preseason game. And then you said, you know what? Instead of backing down, instead of maybe milking an injury, which a lot of players would do in that situation for a rational reason, Jacobs decided to go out there and completely ball out and just became the #1 running back in the NFL. And so now, once you reach the offseason, we saw Jacobs say some controversial statements at the Pro Bowl saying, hey, if you want me to be the hero, you're going to have to pay me like the hero. That was one of the key statements he said in an interview with NBC Sports Pro Football Talk. Made it seem like, hey, bro, you're not going to get off easy paying me cheap. And he even said he doesn't want to play on the tag. And he also said nobody really does. Nobody really does want to play on the franchise tag. It is just a one-year deal, around $10.2 million. So that was a huge statement that he said. And then we saw some more cryptic messages from Josh Jacobs on social media, and then this was the big one that happened was shit sad for real. He said shit sad for real the moment that Darren Waller was traded. And keep in mind, a lot of people did not expect that to happen. A lot of people did not expect Waller to be traded. Josh McDaniels at the NFL Combine said positive things about Waller. And then Waller himself, after he was traded in the introductory press conference with the New York Giants, went out of his way and said, hey, I did not expect this to happen. So Jacobs was clearly upset about this situation. It seems like he's anticipating himself having to be the hero, given the fact that Waller's gone and given the fact that the Raiders, rather than getting a big name quarterback, they went out there and got Jimmy Garoppolo. And what is Jimmy Garoppolo most known for in San Francisco? Well, handing the ball off to Deebo Samuel or any of those other great running backs they have there in San Francisco. So Jacobs knows what's going down here, and he doesn't seem too happy about it. And another comment that he said at the Pro Bowl, which shows that his relationship with Josh McDaniels and company is a little rocky. What he said is that they have not disrespected me yet. They have not disrespected me yet. And this is when he's talking about contract negotiations with the Raiders, meaning that he anticipates them to disrespect him. Now, this could just be a general statement about the NFL in total. We mentioned at the top of this video that yes, Austin Eckler feels disrespected with his organization, the LA Chargers. They have refused to have any contract talks with Austin Eckler. He's set to make $6 million this year. And then obviously we have the big news around the NFL, Saquon Barkley rejecting his franchise tag. We made a video about this on our other channel, WiFiWillie NFL. Make sure you check out that channel for videos about the broader NFL outside of the Raiders. We break everything down there. But Jacobs was anticipating being disrespected. And now it seems like the disrespect could be happening because Jacobs was eventually franchise tagged after the Raiders failed to come come to an agreement with Josh Jacobs. You had Mark Davis in the media in an interview with The Athletic say some positive things about Josh Jacobs, say that, oh, he's the man, we want to get something done. But hey, the Raiders did not have any further negotiations with him. And then even after they had the franchise tag placed on him, right now, this is the latest news that's happening. Contract talks have stalled. There is no discussion happening ever since the tag happened. The Raiders are not talking to him. Jacobs is not talking to the Raiders. There is something not getting done. There is no long-term contract getting done. So Mark Davis could go out there in the media and say all these nice things about Jacobs, but bottom line, talks are not happening. Could it be that the Raiders don't want to pay him? Could it be that Jacobs knows the Raiders don't want to pay him, so he's not even trying to talk? And like I said about Barkley, and I'm saying this about all these running backs right now, history can repeat itself. And we know Le'Veon Bell held out in 2018 when he had the franchise tag placed on him for the second year in a row, and he ended up not playing for the Steelers that year in 2018 and eventually went on to become a free agent and got a fat contract with the New York Jets. So maybe this could be the trajectory of Josh Jacobs. Obviously, it seems like the Raiders are going to wait till after the draft to have a contract talk with Josh Jacobs. And look, the Raiders, even though they seem like sort of the bad guy right here, this is a rational business decision that they're making here. Why not look to the draft, see if a running back that you like in the third round, maybe the later rounds falls to you, and could that be enough to make up for Josh Jacobs? Personally, I don't think you're ever going to find a replacement for somebody like Josh Jacobs, but it depends on the type of team that you have. Are you going to be a pass first team? Are you going to be a run first team? Who knows? But one team that is a pass first team right now that has not had a 1,000-yard running back in a single season since Shady McCoy in 2017. Now that is the Buffalo Bills, and that is Sports Illustrated actually announcing that Buffalo Bills seem like the key destination for Josh Jacobs. Buffalo Bills seem like where Josh Jacobs could possibly go. They've also floated around a couple other ideas. Seattle Seahawks, I don't think that makes any sense because they have Kenneth Walker there. And the Buffalo Bills, I would be surprised if they pay Josh Jacobs $10.2 million, to play this upcoming year. But like we said before, they have not had, a running back like Jacobs. They don't have Devin Singletary anymore. Right now, though, they do have the former New England Patriot, Damian Harris, former third-round pick from Alabama. Maybe they're content with having him and just rolling with him. But Jacobs could land there. And I think if the Raiders realize that they can't get any long-term contract done with Jacobs, and obviously they're trying to lowball the guy if a deal is not getting done, maybe trading him's the best option. They already traded away Darren Waller, got at least a third-round pick. If the Raiders aren't planning to go to the Super Bowl this year with Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe you want to build assets for the future. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know how happy Davante Adams would be about that, because Davante Adams has made several comments throughout last season to pay Josh Jacobs. There's a funny video where he's even doing the whole pay me sign when Jacobs is, after a post-game interview. You want to have all of your best players on your team, all the players that you battled with to continue to battle with. And then here's the thing. Jacobs is not only just a running back on the team. He is a team captain. He is a team captain. I know the running back position is not valued, but he is considered a leader there in Vegas. And it's kind of crazy to see him mature because it was just a few years ago in 2019 when he was a rookie. But now the guy is a team captain, a leader there in Vegas. And I'm sure a lot of the players want him to stay. Who knows? Maybe the Raiders are trying to also not talk to him to force him to play on the tag and renegotiate next year. The question is, when Jacobs is making posts saying shit sats for real, I haven't been disrespected yet, I'm not going to disrespect myself, when he's saying all these cryptic messages, let's just pretend there's only two options here, Raider Nation. Let's just pretend it's either pay the guy the number one running back in the NFL money, which is definitely going to be north of $14 million a year, or trade him. What if those are the only two options? What if those are the only two options, or he does hold out? What would you do? What would you do if you're GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels? Who knows? But I think a decision will come after the draft, and we'll let you know everything that's happening with this Josh Jacobs story. My name is WiFiWillie. Make sure you check out some of these other videos if you may have missed it. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.